Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Casa podcast. Today, I've got Efia, your boy, and Kwesi in the building, and we're going to be talking about respect. We're going to be having a conversation around respect, what it means to us, how it's changing, how our past experiences and our lives have shaped us, and we're going to learn from you what respect means to you, the things that have shaped what you consider respectful and what you think is disrespectful, and we're going to talk about the new global citizen. Before we dive into the conversation, I'm going to have Evia,
Could you?
Izzy. How you guys doing? How you guys doing?
Good, I'm good, bro.
Great, I guess.
Good.
Doing great.
Sunday, Sunday fun day.
Sunday fun day. You always say Sunday fun day. What
I
do you do for
know,
fun on
right?
Sunday? What do you do on Sundays that make it so
I
fun?
think it's the idea of just being in your home,
Hmm?
watching the game. The football game is on.
Mm-hmm.
You watch the EPL in the morning and NFL in the afternoon, and just chilling and relaxing. You know,
Hmm.
no
I,
emails to look at yet.
I'm guessing it
You know?
gets better when the NBA season also kicks off, right? So you get
Oh yeah, you get
EPL in the
everything.
morning, NFL in the afternoon, basketball in the evening, and then maybe you can even get a Sunday night game.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Nice,
sir.
nice. Fun day indeed. AY, what do you do for fun on your Sundays? What do you do on your Sundays?
For some time now, I've been okay. Well, I record podcast.
Mm,
I play volley in the afternoon and go swimming, like teach swimming, not just go swimming.
mm. Teach
Teach
swimming.
swimming in the evening.
I see.
Yeah.
I saw you were advertising your online swimming class. Like, how do people learn to swim online?
Oh yeah, virtual. I mean, yes, you, you.
Listen, we can't even go into that
No, 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 no.
conversation
I
today.
mean, now that you've given me the opportunity, let me advertise here on your
Hey.
show. So I do give virtual swimming classes where you put where you put your camera, like your phone camera. You just need a phone and that's it. You put it there. You be in the pool. I'll be in the pool and then
You're
you follow
laughing.
instructions.
Are you happy with yourself? Do you
I
think this?
mean, everything is virtual now. What are you
So,
talking
so what
about?
happens if the person starts to drown?
That is the thing. You follow instructions.
Hmm.
Follow instructions.
Hmm.
Do
How much
do
do you
they
charge?
have to? Do they have to sign anything?
Oh,
AY, how
Protect
much do you
yourself
charge
from
for this?
liability, man.
yes.
How much do you
I'm not
charge for this?
responsible for anything. Pardon.
How much do you
I
charge?
I charge it used to be $15 an hour,
Hmm.
but now I mean because of the number of people I have now, I've moved it to 25 an hour.
Okay.
Yes.
You have people signing up for this.
Oh yeah, a lot of
Hmm.
people.
Okay. And at $25 an hour, how many
Mhm.
hours does it take on the average to finish these lessons?
Okay, so we have 4 Sundays, that's in a month. And so each Sunday you have 3 hours. It's
Hmm.
that cheap.
3 hours per Sunday for
Yeah,
4 Sundays in a month, and
exactly.
people are signing up. Oh, all the best
Yeah.
to them, and I hope they buy their
What,
live
what what do
vests
you
and
mean
all
by
that.
all the best to them? I don't understand. What are you
Uh,
saying?
Nothing. I, out of respect for your craft and your lessons, I will let that be. Kwesi and I would just focus on watching football and enjoying the games. For those of you who are with us here live, welcome to the show, and it's going to be a very tricky one for me personally today because Sunday fun day. Man, you explain at the same time I'm recording, and it was halftime when we started recording, and it was 2-1 in favor of Man U. So I'm going to be sitting here hoping in my heart that Man U can, pull a fast one on Everton. But let's get into the conversation, guys. Let's get into the
Mhm.
conversation. If you're all the best with them, is what Rashid is saying. Rashid,
Thank
I
you,
hope you're
Rashid.
doing very
Thank
well.
you.
Tao also
Thank
checked
you.
in. Tao, welcome. I hope you're doing well, brother. And I hope the two little men are doing as great. On a Sunday, I
Oh,
also
Tao is my client. You should ask him. I'm
I,
training his kids.
I am not going to ask Tayo about your virtual swim classes today. But guys, we're going to have the conversation on respect. Let's get into the conversation on respect. And before we dive into what we think is changing and all let's take a look at respect in terms of the context, right? I know Kwesi. Kwesi normally says he was born in Ghana and matured outside Ghana. Efia would probably say you were born in Ghana and matured in Ghana. So, from a cultural standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
right? Efia, what do you think respect looks like from a Ghanaian perspective? What are some of the things that are considered respectful, and how are people socialized to be respectful in society where you're from?
From Ghana, right?
Mhm.
Respect is more of inactions. That's how I
Mhm.
put it, right?
Okay.
Like more of not talking back when you're speaking to, more of being reserved,
Mhm.
not asking too much questions,
Mhm.
just
Okay.
obeying and not asking anything. Why should know? You don't do that.
Mhm.
You would also respect is um more of like a position kind of thing, like because someone is above you, someone is older than you, someone is not because they you regard them I mean sometimes it is, but most often it's more of, you know, power disparity, like, you know, someone is above you, someone is
Mhm.
below you, and that is how it's supposed to be.
Okay.
That is how respect is mostly deemed in Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Um, Not very dissimilar from many parts of the world. Quizzy,
Yeah.
what was from your experience? I know you do
Uh-huh.
have the Quizzy. You're gonna have to stop watching the game. I'm coming to come turn off your light because let me put you on full blast so that the audience can see. Quizzy's mouth and face is towards the mic, but his eye is towards the TV.
Oh
Um,
no, I'm looking
yeah,
at
right. Yeah, right. Okay.
yeah.
So tell
I
us,
wanna I
coaches.
wanna see you guys fail. I wanna see your team fail so bad. Like
Just leave me and you alone, and let's have a conversation on respect. Respect man you. Put some respect on man you. And um
ah,
for the title of the show, I'll touch on that, and that is why you have to. Maybe I might have to get the song, Aretha Franklin song playing in the background, right?
oh yeah.
RESPECT. You have to put
Yeah,
some
yeah.
respect on. Let's get back on the conversation with respect,
Yeah.
right? Um,
Yeah.
Tell us a little about, again, you got to experience two different um you know
Yep, 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 yep.
environment settings. What was respect
Mhm.
like in both of them for you as a kid or as a person growing up?
Uh
What did you see?
I think for the Ghanaian environment,
Mhm.
it's what if he has said, right?
Mhm.
It's like you got to be a little timid. You got to lay down and let them walk all over you
Eh,
when they're
Easy,
older than you, right?
easy.
Especially when they're older than you,
Mm-hmm.
you got to bow to them, like
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
boss,
Mhm.
the what do you say, the servant and the master type thing.
Mm.
It's more like that. But I think here in the state, kids get a little bit. It's like a two-way street, and
Okay.
most of the time, they listen. Adults will listen to kids too, depend on which households, right? But I
Mhm.
know
Yeah.
a lot of black household, like African American. It's similar to the Ghana thing, where you don't talk back and all that. But
Mm.
depending on the household you go, it's not like a set rule where
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
every African American. No, it's different, right? But I think with us, majority wise, you can't say anything, but with them, sometimes the kids can say something, and they will
Mm.
listen, and they're like, okay, yeah, you got
Mm-hmm.
rights too, because there's systems here, right? That people they can call the cops on you. In Ghana, who you call? You're gonna call Dampre because your dad disrespected you or whatever. Like, you're not gonna do that.
Hmm.
Like,
So
so
so I
I
think
think
you
that's
said something. You said something that I would like to think it's almost everywhere, right? I think
yeah.
generally it's the kind of household. I think, yes, on the average, right? Socially, there are
Hmm.
things that we generally see as respectful and disrespectful,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in Ghanaian communities, you having that kind of exchange with an older person or even a senior, or anybody in some response, in some position of authority is seen as,
Mm-hmm.
hey, the guy is disrespectful. But I think at the household level, it really varies from household to household, because there are some households where people are able to express themselves, and you'd go there and you'd be shocked, especially when it's not what you see at home, right? And so you go
True,
to Kwame's house, or you go to Kwesi's house, or you go to Papaya's house, and they're expressing themselves, they're talking to people like their parents, like, I don't agree with this, I disagree, and be like, what is going on? Like, why is he not getting smacked? Like, that kind of thing. But I think one of the main things is the household thing. But
Yeah.
yes, generally, socially, people would even look down on the family, or even like a mom or a dad, like, you should discipline your kid. Like, why is your
Yep.
kid,
Yep.
like, people
oh,
want that,
oh.
not.
I don't mean to cut you. I have a story with dad. Let me insert that in before we even continue, right?
Mhm.
A few years ago, my parents live in Ghana now, right? They live in Ghana. So my mom was over and just coming for checkup, medical, whatever and stuff. And I have a cousin that he's older, it's like
Mm-hmm.
40s, whatever, right? But he's older cousin, and he grew up in Ghana, went to college in Ghana, everything. Then I used to live with my brother, right? And then he saw me. I think he saw me with an earring on, had my ESPS, right? And nobody cares. My brother don't care. My mom don't care. Like. And then he told my brother that, man, your little brother lives with you and he got his earpiece. If it was me, I would have kicked him out of the house and let him go wherever, right? And everybody looking at it like, okay, you've made your point. So what? Like, what?
But
It was.
that's a
Wait,
rather
how
odd
old
one.
were you? How old like were you
Oh, I
young?
wasn't even a kid, bro. I'm like, I wasn't even. I was like 20 something. Like it was just
And he would
weird.
have
Like,
kicked you out.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was so weird, because I don't know. It was just so my mom was the one
Mhm.
that told me that, hey, oh, guess what? I'm like, what? He was like, yeah, your cousin was telling your brother that he would have, because the condo we're living, my brother owned it, right? So I was living there. Um, and then my mom was like, yeah, he told your brother that if you were him, he won't even tell you to go find your own place, like move out, just
Mhm.
because he pierced your ears. So
What you're saying kind of drew my attention to something we also see as respectful in Ghana. I think the way people dress. Some people can take offense by the way you're dressed. Like, they would see
oh
your appearance
shit.
and take offense, like you're disrespecting me. Like, it's
Mhm.
another way people express. And I get that some of them are cultural, right? Like, you don't wear a cap and go shake a king or something. Like, I get the cultural aspect, but you'd be walking down the streets. I mean, personally, I don't fancy sagging pants. I don't. It's not something I fancy, but I don't think it's a sign of disrespect to me if someone walks around with sagging pants. But people would be offended. Like, some uncle, someone would be like,
That's
"Why is your pants down?
crazy.
Don't you respect elders?" Like, what has that got to do with anything, right? You wear your cup,
Mhm.
you snap your cup backward, and it's like,
But wait, you
you are
don't
so
think, could you
disrespectful.
don't think that has anything to do with respect?
I
Like
really don't. I
sagging
don't think
pants and you
fashion.
know,
Not really. Not really.
okay.
Because I mean, think about it this way: if we had a lot of Ghanaians copied that style from the coach Otto Festa, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
just this, of it just was comfortable for him to wear his pants that way. A lot of people, it's comfortable for them to wear their pants that way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to
the,
give a
the,
description of of certain body types that they're just comfortable having their pants a little lower than average. There's some people who also feel comfortable having their shorts or their pants way up here. It's just a comfort thing. Just do what's more comfortable for you. It's not a sign. Like, nobody wakes up in the morning and gets dressed and is like, how can I be very disrespectful to my uncle today? Let me move my shorts down. Like, nobody is doing that, right? And I don't think if you wore them with appropriate attire, and you stood in the street and you insulted me, I'll find that more offensive than how you're wearing your clothes, right? And I think even for a lot of young women, right? You wear your shorts, and, oh my God, this pants is too short, or this skirt is too short. This is so disrespectful to your parents. Like,
That is true.
how is this disrespect? I'm at the beach. How is this disrespectful to my parents, right? And so a lot of people, I think they misinterpret a lot of these things, and people expressing themselves, like, you know, wearing, like your cousin was saying, wearing your earrings, wearing your hair a certain way, dyeing your hair, all these I think maybe there's an issue they have, but they just confuse all that with respect. So in Ghana, um, the phrase "you're disrespectful" is said to cover so many things, right?
It's more like like how you express yourself. So as you said, there are a lot of things aside even how you dress.
Mhm.
There are some places now in Ghana, I can tell you, you can't walk with a guy and hold hands with a guy. It's considered disrespectful.
Mm.
Like
Like
what?
just hold uh like the barracks. I don't know. I didn't want to mention it, but yeah, like the
Eh, eh,
barracks. You
if
can't
yeah,
be
what?
walking. But it's true.
Wait,
That's true.
wait, like
I
the military
yeah,
barracks?
you
Yes.
you go and get a show in
Oh,
trouble. I
oh,
this
really?
is myself from this statement.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't. I know, this is the first time hearing it.
No,
I
no.
didn't.
Oh, it's true. Honestly, like you cannot be walking
Oh,
around with holding hands.
oh, wow.
Showing. You put your hands
PDA,
around someone's. No, you can do that in
no
a
You
barrack.
can
PDA.
show affection.
No
Oh,
PDA. No,
wow.
you can't do that in a
Oh,
barrack.
this is new. This is news to me. I don't know.
You
I'm
should you
serious. I
shouldn't
don't
be
know if
walking.
I don't know
I,
if it has changed now,
oh,
but
You
I didn't
shouldn't be
know that.
walking in a barracks
you
anyway.
cannot be
So I'll
walking
let
in a
that one
barracks with
be.
that. You
I'll
cannot.
let
That's
that
Oh,
so.
one
okay,
be.
okay.
First of all, it's disrespectful. You're not giving regards to the people around there. I, it never made sense to me, but yeah. And even sometimes too, in some places, if you have bushy hair, it's disrespectful. Your hair has to
Wait,
be
what?
properly trimmed. Yeah, so that's why I told you in Ghana, to be respectful is more about inaction. So what you don't do.
Mm.
But if you start expressing
No,
yourself,
no afro.
no afro, yeah, that's disrespectful.
So no afro. You can. Alrighty.
There are a lot of interesting things. I think let me read some of the comments. I know PY checked in earlier,
Man.
but
This
Rashid is
is like
saying,
I'm getting a culture shock from my own people. Like this is so.
well, listen to this. I think people are agreeing with something you said. Quincy, Rashid said, Quincy said it all. No chill at all. We see it as, I mean, we see respect, and we, by we, he means culturally, Ghanaians see respect as being timid and allowing people to walk over you and not protesting. And we're going to come back to this protesting thing because it's going to be one of the bedrocks of the conversation going forward, especially how the new global citizen is changing and we're becoming, we're protesting some more. So we definitely come back into the protestation bit. Dache says, hi everyone. Dache, welcome.
Hey.
Sorry I'm late. Hey, no problem. We appreciate you being here, Dache. Today, Kwejo is being transparent. He's showing his background. Yes, Dache, I completely finished my move. Last week I was in the middle of a move and I didn't want to show the unfinished parts of my house. That's why now I completely moved into a new place. And I set it up the same old way. So those of you who have been watching the show, you see that I didn't change much. I didn't even try to rethink decorating my office. I just copied and pasted, culturally, just to respect my my office, out of respect. Imari said, well, I've been in a lot of trouble for PDA. Holding hands is my jam. Well,
Oh my god, you can't do
Imari,
that
you have to stay away
in some
from all the
places in
places if
Ghana.
Yaya goes. If Yaya can would take you to the places where, um, please, soldiers deserve love too. Why? You cannot disrespect Black Sharif like that.
But Rashid, I didn't make the rules. They made those rules. The soldiers made the
Yeah,
rules.
Wait, I didn't catch the Black Sharif bit.
He in
Black
a this
Sharif have a
track
song
soldier
called
song.
Soldier.
Oh, soldier. I think we'll touch on that. Thanks for bringing that up, Rashid. Please remind me at the end of the show. Get into the tail end of the show. We're going to dive into that Black Sharif album. I'm going to take your reaction. So we would definitely get back to Blacko again because that album dropped and I need to know what you guys think about it. But back to the conversation on respect, right? Things are changing, right?
Yep.
This used to be, and most of the things we expressed on here used to be the case. And I don't think it's even unique to Ghana. I think even the world over, right? Even in the US, in Europe, generations that came before us had certain standards that they saw as respectful. And so it makes our generation or the new generation very disrespectful when you hold us to their standards. And
Yeah.
one of the things is speaking up for yourself. It used to be a sign of respect here in the US, in Europe, in Ghana, when an older person or a person in authority or, a system puts you in a position that you're not comfortable, just, keeping quiet and going through it was seen as respectful. But these days, you give a 3-year-old, a clothes to wear or shoes to wear and they don't fit, they're going to tell you, Mom, these don't fit. Can I get something that fit? Take that kid to the 70s and everybody's going to be like, whoa, that kid went back to their mom. That's so disrespectful. But now we're able to express ourselves. And it's not just Ghana, it's not just in the US, it's not, I think, almost everywhere. When systems don't work, when things don't make people comfortable, when things don't work for people, they're able to speak up for themselves. And it's causing a lot of that rift, right? What you guys see, right, currently, especially as things are changing around you, around your friend group, around your social circles, that you think would have been signs of disrespect, but now everybody is sort of warming up to and getting comfortable with. Anyway, what are some of the things that makes you think, oh, things are changing? Things that used to be disrespectful are now becoming a little more acceptable.
I think people's acceptance to criticisms, right? Initially, you don't criticize people in authority, like not mainly authority, but like people ahead of you. You don't criticize them when they take actions. Whatever they do, it seems to be right. But now, they do something and then you go back and like, okay, what you did was wrong. And their reception is so warm, they don't really get mad. Even though they get mad sometimes, they go, reflect and then come back and they're like, oh yeah,
Okay, so
this initially, I think this would have been a big deal if you had to criticize your mom or criticize your dad for something they did. But now they are more, receptive about these things. And also apology, right? I mean, they don't apologize. That is not something. They are never wrong. I also stand for the part that they are never wrong because they are in certain positions. But now, they see that they are humans and they can also make mistakes. And so the moment you draw the attention to that, they quickly apologize and then you guys move on.
Okay. Kwesi, what are some of the things? What are some of the shifts, cultural shifts and changes that you're seeing in terms of what respect looks like today?
I think the world is a global village now. So people travel, right? They say travel and see. People are moving around more. So we're seeing what other cultures are doing and what other people are doing and how they are thriving and stuff. And I think people are learning, but it's not. Let's just cut through the chase. It's not everybody, man. It's not the like our parents' generation. Like some of them, right? Some of them are still very like when if you said apology. Some people don't apologize, and I think the reason they don't apologize because they don't respect you. Like, because if you respect somebody, you apologize, right? Because they see you as a minor, like you're beneath them, right? And when you start seeing another human being as somebody that's beneath you, you tend to lose some, not if not all, respect for them, right? Because then you think you could just flash the magic wand and they do whatever, right? So when you don't respect people enough, you're never gonna apologize to them.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. It takes a lot of respect and self, whatever you want to call it, to apologize to, especially when it comes to like our culture and men, right? The way men, the patriarchy thing going on and all that, right? People say that it's not always patriarchy, right? It's not always like that, but we have this thing that in our culture that when you're a man, it's like It's like God just grabbed you and dropped you in the auditorium, right, in front of all women or kids, women and children, and say, "Hey, look at this guy! Like, he's a man, and whatever he says goes." Like that thing that many people have in their head that, oh, and we have phrases like the phrase where I told you earlier on pisses me off when they say. Now, oba now they bear my kasasa. Like,
Mhm,
you a woman, why you
Mm-hmm.
talking to a man like that, right?
mhm,
A lot of stuff stem from that side, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it's not everybody. If you don't respect people, you're not gonna apologize to them
hmm.
because you don't even respect
Interesting.
them. So you say
Yeah.
whatever. You just open your mouth. You say whatever. You could just in the middle of talking to somebody, you could just, hey, shut up and sit down, you idiot, and you don't even think you did anything wrong because you don't respect them, right?
Hmm,
Mm-hmm.
hmm. I,
So
I I see a lot of what you guys are pointing to, and I think it's on display a lot now these days on social media and how social media interactions are changing. And when I think about the change, things that are
Mm-hmm.
looking different, it's it's how people are able to come down to certain levels and have certain conversations, and you can walk into a room and people of different ages are having a social discussion. Sometimes they can get very heated. There can be debates, there can be arguments, but people
Mm-hmm.
are not winning arguments because they're old. People are winning arguments because their arguments are better. And that's how I see these things progressing, right? Back
Mm-hmm.
in the day, you'd have all these very old people sitting on TV, and sometimes they don't say the very smart thing, like not the smartest thing. And you have this younger person come in, and all you'd hear the older people say is, "How old are you? How wait till you're old."
Yeah.
The argument was just, "I'm older than you, so I know." But these days, I have seen it so many times where 22-year-olds are schooling 50-year-olds, and it's no longer "I'm older than you," but now, is there substance to your conversation? And that makes that's a sign to me that things are changing. The old um the old standards for respect. And
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about this protest thing, and um Quincy mentioned traveling and seeing, but yeah, with our social media activity and mingling and learning from each other and seeing the things that happen in other places, right?
Yeah.
People are becoming more socialized out of their own traditional norms and value systems. We're now there's a new evolution of a global norm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Things like equality among genders, right? I know a lot of cultures are still lagging behind, and it's going to get better. We're hoping that it
Yep.
moves towards a more equal society, right? But now people go online and see young men and young women have interactions and express themselves, and so now
Mm-hmm.
it's not unusual. I was explaining, so I was telling you guys something. Back in the day, you'd be sitting with your friends and you'd be saying something, or you'd be doing something, and you guys might be doing it wrong, and then your friend's girlfriend or your girlfriend comes in and it's like, "Hey, young man, you guys should have done it this way." Sometimes back in the day, there were things people would say, "Well, is your woman the boss of you? Why is this?" That kind of.
Yeah.
But now, once that kind of disrespect goes on, you see everybody, and you see all these things in the social experiments we do, right? We see people do online where a woman gets disrespected, and everybody, bar none, everybody's like, "That's not right." Back in the
Mm-hmm.
day, like, "Oh, it's a man and a woman, and this person is always right, or that side is always right." But now people are becoming more sensitive to these things, and there's becoming a lot more move away from your gender, your age, making you smart or intelligent or right. But there's a push for substance. Like, is your case right? Do you have a case? What do you
Mm-hmm.
guys think? Do you also see that, especially on social media and in the interactions you guys have?
I mean,
Oh,
If yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, we see that a lot of
yeah,
times
yeah, me,
now.
I don't know why.
Pardon?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
I
you can
thought
hear.
you.
oh no, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear Kosi,
Oh, okay.
but I can't
Yeah,
hear
go
Kojo.
ahead.
I can't hear Kojo.
Oh,
Can
yeah,
you
I
hear
can.
me now?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear Kojo. I can hear Kojo. Yeah.
Yeah, now I can hear you now.
Yep. Yep.
So yeah, I mean, what you're saying, so I've noticed that a lot. Now it's more of substance than who you are, the position you hold. I mean, now we call presidents out, we call minister, we call everyone out. We don't care who you are, what you do. If what is doing is wrong, we're gonna call you out. And I think social media and the internet has made it very easy for us to see what is going on in other places and also to be able to emulate in our lives. Like you see that you're like, okay, sometimes like if you don't see it, you don't know what you're going through is wrong. There are a lot of people that are taking a lot of disrespect, but because they've not seen the other side, like they've not seen other things. So it's like, okay, they don't know this is disrespect until they see that this is actually not the way things work. Like I could be vocal. I could talk about what I think. I could express my opinion. I could show you how things can be done. I could have my input. So I think the internet has made it very easy.
Mhm.
Yeah, I should say. I think it's made it very easy.
Kwesi, what do you think? Do you see the same, especially in your circles?
Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the people are seeing what others are doing, and
Mhm.
people are seeing that, like the fear factor is, it's kind of
Going
vanishing.
away.
It's going away a little bit.
It's
You
going
know, the
away.
fear factor, like, oh, he's older than me. I'm scared. I can't
Mm-hmm.
say. Like these
Mhm.
people, I think like they've pushed a whole entire generation into a spot where they got none to lose,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
And it may
Mhm.
be good. It may be good and bad, because it's
Mhm.
bad for the guys doing the bullying, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
if you're a leader, you don't want to push your people to a point where they have none to lose, because then they will come for you, right?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to do that. But then if you're on the receiving end, it's good for you, because now you're like, you know what? Screw it. I got nothing to lose. I'm gonna tell you what I feel. I'm tell you how I feel. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So they're calling people out, and people are finding ways to live or survive, um, by themselves in their
Mm-hmm.
own
Mm-hmm.
environment, because maybe they were very dependent on somebody. Like if I was saying, people take disrespect. Not everybody. Some people take it because they want something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For example, if you take a lady that, socio-economically she's really low on the spectrum, right?
Mhm.
She's on the other side of the spectrum, and she marries a guy that's a millionaire, right? And
Mm-hmm.
the
Mhm.
dude has no sense, very disrespectful. Sometimes she'll take it just so she can get what she take of her family, she's
Mm-hmm.
That's
whatever, right?
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's
The
true.
moment she doesn't need the money anymore, she'll probably stand up for herself and say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, you little whatever. Now let me tell you how I really feel. you know.
Easy
So
there. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I,
So
I,
I
I,
think
I. Mm-hmm.
I think if you're put in a position to, of
Mhm.
power or anything, you're older than somebody, you have some
Mhm.
power. Be smart, and
Mm-hmm.
don't go around to spend people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
show respect, and you will get, most of the time you get
Respect back.
respect back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I completely agree. And the comments are coming in, and I'm loving some of the comments coming in. Imari is saying being vocal in general used to be frowned upon, especially for women. But now that's changing. Women are
Yeah.
able to speak up and speak out and be unapologetic about it. And I completely see that in the world around us, especially, like I say, on social media and even in real life. You're beginning to see people be more vocal and speaking out, and not just women, the people, minorities generally. It was seen as, just keep your head down, just live in the system, don't cause any trouble, don't furrow any brows, and you'd
Sit
be
in the
fine.
back.
But now people are
Yeah.
becoming very vocal, and it's creating a better world, in my opinion, right? It's creating a better world where good ideas are really wrestling in the the marketplace of ideas. It's you
Mhm.
were not taking your word just because you're in the majority. But listen, people can speak out and be unapologetic about it. I really like that comment. That change says, Walker, you're right. And also women taking leadership roles and also frowning up
Was
was also frowned upon in certain parts of the world. That's absolutely true.
Yep.
And that's what makes what's happening. And I'm not going to veer too much off topic, but that's what making what's happening in Iran get a lot
Iran.
of international support, right? There are a lot of people who have been in systems where things have not worked for them, but now the global citizen, as I like to call them, is becoming awake and is beginning to speak out, push for more change. And we're
Yeah.
seeing a lot of these barriers being broken. We're seeing a lot of these old definitions of what respect used to be being
Mhm.
redefined. We're redefining what respect means. We're redefining what acceptable is. And a lot of these old norms and old rules are fading away, thankfully. But we're not there yet. There's still a lot of work to do. And we're going to have the
Yep,
last
yep,
part
yep.
of the conversation is going to go there. But Nanekia is also in the building. Hola, hola, Nanekia.
Hey.
I hope you're doing well. We need to get you back in the studio. Nanekia, you need to come back into the studio. We have so many questions for you. I have 1,000,001 questions. So we'll work on getting Nanekia into the building. I'm working on getting Kwame and Dachene also into the building. It's going to be fun. But back to the conversation on respect, redefining respect, the new norms, the new wave, and all the things that are changing around us. Now, I want us to take personal response. What can we do? How can we promote some of these changes? How can we ourselves help redefine what's acceptable? How can we redefine respect in our own small way, in our own interactions with people? Kwesi, I'm going to start with you this time. What are some of the things we can do as agents of change, as agents of this new redefinition of what respectful should be, given the background we came from, given our experiences, given the things we've been through, and how we've seen some of these things really don't represent respect as we might think? What are some things we can do, Kwesi?
I think we ought to look ourselves and look at the people around, how we interact with people around us,
Mm-hmm.
and see how they respond to the
Mm,
things we do.
mm,
Especially if you're a leader, you have some form of superiority over people.
mm-hmm.
You ought to analyze the way you deal with them, the way you talk to them, right? Because I think we we in a different, our generation is different, right?
Mm,
And we're proving every day, we're proving ourselves that we're different. And that's what I like, because
mhm,
um for example, I want my kids, whenever I have kids, right, when that time comes, right, I want them to be able to tell me how they feel, right?
mm, mm,
I don't want to have, they're not, I don't, my kids are not going to be my friends. They're not my friends, they're my kids, right? We're on the same team,
mm.
right? I don't want to be like, oh, bubbly bubbly, we're friends, like, no, there's going to be boundaries to everything, right? And we're a team.
AY
Like,
is
I'm
disagreeing so hard
but
on that one.
but also I don't
Now
want to be
you're bringing up.
bossing.
Mhm.
No, I don't want to be bossing them around. Like, hey, sit
Okay.
here, do this, do that. You're gonna do this. No,
Mm,
no. Like, ask
mm,
people how they feel. The
mm.
human beings, right? And then you lead them down the right path or
Mm.
something, stuff like that. So I
Interesting.
think that's how we're gonna make change. Like, if you want to change the world, right?
Mhm.
I can't buy a ticket today and fly to Jamaica or Costa Rica and start telling people what to do.
What to
The
do?
world I know is,
Mm-hmm.
I start
The
from
one.
my home, my
Mm-hmm.
sister, my brother, my friends. You guys are part of my world now, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's the world you change, and
Mm.
you have a world that I'm not part of too,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because there are people that I don't know,
Yeah.
right? So if I make a positive impact on your life, you take that positive, you take it to that side,
To the.
we
Mm-hmm.
multiply it, right? That's how
Mm-hmm.
we change the world.
That's
It's a
true.
fallacy when I always hear people, I want to change the world and I want to go to here, China, and you're not gonna get anything done. That's not
Yeah.
progressive way of doing
Yeah.
it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Change your
Yep.
circle, like
Mm-hmm.
change the world, the little world that you know.
Okay.
Start from there,
We're
and we
we're
spread it like
we're
wildfire,
we're going to
right?
get into that debate one day. That parent-friend debate. I'm going to let that one sit in the back still for now. We're going to get back to, and I like what you said at the end there, right? If you really want to be an agent of change, right, you change your circle, you change the things around you. And I think, especially with this kind of change,
changing things in your immediate surroundings is going to be one of the fastest way to get there. If you what, how do we contribute? How can we change?
I think we should be more intentional and then more conscious. That's all I'll say. I mean, and then seeing that we are all humans, and so the baseline, there should be a baseline respect for everybody. The moment the person is a human being, you should have respect for the person, and then we move on from there. You see, so for me, it's being intentional in our actions, being how you treat people, how you talk to people, how you respond to them, what they do, all that counts. Yeah, so you have to be more intentional now, because people will be expressive, people will be I mean, and then there's this thing too, being how do you call it, receptive, and then how you take in feedback.
Yep.
Yes, how you take in feedback. It could be, you see the difference when it has people that are on their guard, and then people that don't see anything, like they are okay. You can say something so negative, and how the person will respond to it, like, if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't have taken this way. Someone can be so negative to you, but it's how you take it. So it's more of how we take feedback and how we see people. Not always think someone is coming for you, and so you have to
On
to
your
snap.
guard.
No.
Interesting. Okay, so I am. Oh! I
What
am
do you
dead.
mean somebody's coming
Let
for
me-
you?
Sometimes people feel like you'd be explaining something, and then someone will ask a question, and then you feel like, why are you asking me this, especially when it's a very obvious question. Sometimes people are just dumb, they don't know. So if you think, okay, this is something so obvious the person should know, and they're still asking, sometimes you might go off and be like, why are you asking me this? Do you mean to insult me or something? But sometimes they just don't know. And if we take a step back and then you see, okay, you don't have to always be on our guard, and people are not always coming for us, and people just don't know. So you treat them like that, and then you try and educate them or give them the answers they deserve. Then you move on. But if the moment you think, oh, this person is coming for me, you snap too, and then it just goes off from there. You are not able to communicate properly.
I see. Kwame asked the question in the chat. Kwame saying, how do you host a podcast when Man United is playing? Kwame, you should have been here at the beginning.
Hope
We're able to host the podcast. We can walk and chew gum. Welcome to the show, Kwame. Amanda told us how we can effect these changes. Being tolerant, which is amazing. Creating space, opening the doors for people to be able to express themselves, to be able to protest, accommodating these things. I completely agree. Rashid said, I believe transparency and honesty is what's required. And to top off what Efia is saying, yes, I agree that sometimes you should be willing to educate people, you should be tolerant, you should be transparent and honest. And these are ways we can change some of the systems around us. Now, Nekia is agreeing with Kwame about the Man U thing. Unfortunately, we don't make the fixtures, right? We know the Casa podcast is always on every Sunday, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. Central, and it's always going to be on. Unfortunately, Man U decided to play at an odd time today. But for my Man U fans in the building, like Nanekia, like Kwame, I appreciate you guys being here. But back to the conversation on respect. Let's see. Kwame, a new chat came in. Let me read that and then I'll give my take on how we can change these things. Oh, just dumb. That's hash. I take every question as real ignorance, so I don't disrespect you with a cheeky answer just because I expect you to know. That's a very good way to deal with questions. Generally, you would try and believe or you think that the person asking the question is being genuine with your question, so that you don't disrespect them. That's absolutely true. Kwame, we cannot adjust the time. Kwame, you come in and you really swaying us from this respect conversation. Let's get back, guys. Kwame,
I
Kwame,
feel
Kwame.
disrespected by Kwame.
Kwame, the only okay, let's get but getting back to this, and we were talking about how we can be agents of change for this new normal, how we can help redefine respect. Number one, by showing it ourselves. One of the things we can do is showing the kind of respect we want to see. It's easy to see when people disrespect others. It's easy to see when
Yep.
others do it, but sometimes when we are the ones disrespecting people, being the agents that is preventing the change or being disrespectful, sometimes we're not able to see. We should be able to sort of live the life we want the general community to be living. And you did say, you nailed it right on, Kwesi. You can't travel to China or travel to the end of the world to start causing the change there. No, right there, leaving room for people to express themselves, right? Not being overtly disrespectful to people. And and it's one of the things I love about Amanda so much. She calls me out every time. Sometimes, right, in your excitement and enthusiasm to engage with people, sometimes we overstep certain bounds, right? Amanda would not take it. She would just call you out and be like, Kojo, sit down. You can't say that. You can't do that. You can't. And I appreciate her so much for that. Even in the show, she's been one of those people who's been given feedback that has helped us grow, right? And she does it in a very lovely way, and she's always going to be known for that. Whenever I see her, whenever I think about her, it's just how her ability to communicate feedback in a very wonderful way. But yeah, and as AY was saying, being able to grow with feedback, being able to take feedback and grow with feedback, that's going to be one way we can redefine respect. So guys, the conversation has been around respect, redefining respect. We talked about how our experiences, our social backgrounds, our cultural backgrounds shaped what we understood by respect. We talked about what we are seeing now and how we want things to be. And now we've talked about how we can be agents of change for this new redefinition of respect. We're going to end the conversation on respect very soon. But before we do, I want us to respect Black Sherif's album. Guys, I hope everyone has given it a listen. If you were you able to give it a listen?
Yeah, I listened to it. I listened to it.
Kwesi, have you been able to listen to the album in its entirety?
Yeah, I did. I skimmed through it.
Okay. Before I come to you guys, if you're here in the comment section, rate the album on a 10-point scale. Let me know what you thought about the album if you've listened to it. Let me know what you think about Black Sherif's project. On a scale of 1 to 10, tell me how you felt about it. Now, guys, let's dig in. What were your overall impressions of the album? AY, what did you think?
I think he did great. Honestly, he did great. It's not like I wasn't expecting. I don't know, but because he's been doing singles, I didn't think he could be this good on an album. And I liked how, it's like talking about himself. He's given stories a little bit about what he's done in his past, what's happened. And yeah, I enjoyed it. Honestly, I did enjoy it. And I think it's something that will grow on us too. People expect to listen to an album one time and then it's like, okay, there's nothing interesting about this. But yeah, the more you listen to it, the more it grows on you, and then you get to love it.
Interesting. Prisla is in the building now. Prisla said, too bad I missed out on an interesting topic. Prisla, you did miss out on a lot, but it's not too late. It's not too late. You can definitely catch the rest of it, and you can catch the rewatch. And those of you who want to listen to the show on the go, we always drop the weekly podcast, right, in an audio form. So on your drive to work, while you're in the gym, something, you can definitely give it a listen. Just go to Casa, wherever you get your podcast, right? Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, you can listen to the audio version so that you don't miss out on anything. And so, yeah, subscribe there too and leave your reviews on there. But today, we did talk about respect. Now, we're diving into Black Sherif's album. AY is always looking good. Yes, she looks good as always in her Casa podcast t-shirt. Kwesi is not wearing his Casa merch, but we would have to fix that very soon. Kwesi,
I printed it in pitch black. It's here, but you can see it.
you printed a logo in a black shirt. Perfect.
Yeah, it's
Perfect.
pitch black. You can't really see it. You need
What did you
special
make of the
glasses.
album though?
It was okay for me. It was okay for me. I guess I expected more. I don't know. Like I
really?
put him up there. I expected a little
Really?
bit more because I personally I think he could do. He has
More.
it. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think he do more. But I want to say something. I want to comment something that AY said about
Mhm.
the album has to grow on you.
On you.
When it comes to music, right?
Mhm.
If a music has to grow on you, it's not good enough.
Are you
Because
sure?
let
I
me
disagree. Mm-mm.
no, because see, the brain it's very tricky, right? It's
Mhm.
like those experiment psychologists and whatever
Mhm.
do.
Yeah, you can force feed.
Yeah, if you tie a dog to a tree for 6 months, right? And you let it go, it will go play and come back and sleep over there. Like so if especially music, if it's great, the moment it hits you, like, oh damn, you know, like because all of us have heard music where the first time you hear it, you're like, oh, and then you repeat again, right? Yeah. So if he has to, and we have the tendency of playing down or downplaying stuff, especially
Mhm.
when it comes to us Ghanaians and our music, right? And it evolves around this whole respect thing. A lot of people don't want to come off as disrespectful, right? So we don't criticize, like we don't give constructive criticism, right? We don't do
Mhm.
that. So it's like there's a too much yes sir boss going on, right?
Mhm.
If you know that it didn't work the first time for you, say it that it didn't work the first time for me. Maybe
Mhm.
if I force feed my brain every
No.
Monday, it won't work for me, right?
Okay.
Okay,
And
Okay.
it's
Chrissy.
not no, it's not just Black Sharif. It's the whole Ghana music industry,
No, no,
right?
So
We
Chrissy.
do that as Ghanaians. We do that a
Chrissy,
lot.
let me ask this right. So, music has a lot of components, right? A
Mm-hmm.
lot. There are a lot of things that come together to make music. And if
Mm-hmm.
you tell me the moment you hear it, it's your hit. Yeah, there's some music that the moment you hear it, it hits. But there's some music you have to listen to it. As of now, there's this album. What's the name? Nowhere Cool. Manifest. Each time I listen to the album, there's something
Mm-hmm.
I did not hear. There's something new about the album.
yeah, but AY,
There's
what
some
you
things
are
I'm
saying,
coming.
no, but
I'm
what
coming.
you're
There's
saying
some
is
things.
slightly different though.
No, like it will hit you. You would enjoy it. It's fine. But then you go back, you're like, wow, okay, there's this part of this song I didn't hear. Like there's this aspect, okay, I didn't even know this part of the song. It's different. This guy's album, what's his name? Burna Boy's Outside album. The first time I gave it a listen, I'm like, okay, it's okay. And then another time I heard it again. And I think it was the third or fourth time I was listening to the album. I was like, okay. Now I didn't hear this song properly. Because for me, so when I'm listening to album, I'm doing other things. I'm driving, I'm talking. So it actually hits me when I'm maybe in bed. There's nothing going on. I'm really listening to it, and I'm like, okay, I didn't hear this part of the album, this part of the song when I was driving. I didn't hear it the first time. So it's not like you're forcefully feeding your brain
No,
to
wait,
enjoy
wait.
it.
Hey, you guys are enjoying this Blacko debate a little too much. I didn't know Ifya was a soldier girl and Kwesi was a music critic. But again, I get some of the statements that Ifya is making, especially when it's about trying to understand the song, trying to decode, really get what they're talking about in the song. I get the multiple play thing. But good music is just that thing. It either does it for you or it doesn't do it for you. And especially with albums, right?
Temple.
You can give.
Yeah.
Are you saying something?
There's a
his network.
speak Spanish.
Kwesi, one second. We can't hear you, so you might have to repeat what you said. All right.
Sure.
While Kwesi
Yeah,
fixes
can you hear me
that, yeah, I think we can get you.
We
now.
can hear you now.
I can. Oh, okay. The whole time I could hear you guys. I don't know, but there's this. I was saying that I don't speak Spanish, right? But when somebody's speaking, I can pick little bit and pieces, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's this Spanish musician that somebody referred me to, right?
Mm-hmm.
The whole music is in Spanish, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first time I hit play, I started like going like that. Oh, snap! Like
Mm-hmm.
like it's music. Like so that whole back to this whole. A lot of people make the argument right about Tree and like for example, Sarkodie. People talk a lot of smack about him that he can't rap in English. That is not a problem. The Tree is not the problem, right? It's a composing. Not going off beat, not missing a beat, not like music is not just it's a whole lot of like when I'm listening to music, I go for the lyrics and the composing, right? Not the hype. I tune everybody out and I
Thank
listen
you.
to it for
I'm
myself,
glad you're saying this.
right?
I'm
So
glad.
a lot of
I
people so it's we can criticize music. The problem with Ghanaians and some of us criticize, we don't know the difference between insulting and disrespecting people and criticizing. Right? People will blatantly insult Ghanaian artists, like they would just say out of pocket stuff that has nothing to do with the music, and they will mask it as I'm giving. No, that's not what you're doing, bro. Go for the music, stick with the music, right? Like the other day, I was telling I think Kukwa on the PY about that guy Bongo and whatever when he said something about Sarkodie's son. I got mad and I don't even know Sarkodie. I'm like, you can get touched by doing stuff like that. Let's stick to his music. His Labadi song, it wasn't it for me. I thought it was trash. For the music, that's my opinion. Right? Because he could do more than that. Just stick to the music and stop insulting them personally.
Sticking to the music, right? I think there are a couple of comments here that resonate with my personal feeling. I'll share my feeling and I'll go through the comments. Personally, I think it wasn't a great project. It was well written, but poorly done, in my opinion. He could have done a little more, invited a lot more people on, added some versatility. I listened to the first 5 tracks and I didn't know they had ended. They're 2-minute songs, back to back to back with the exact same rhythm. And so I listened to track 1 to track 5, and it was like 10 minutes, and it's like 5 in, and I'm like, where's the change? It ran the whole way through. The songs that were bangers on the album, and it's sad, right? For the album that we waited for so much. Soja is one of the top songs on the album. We heard it before the album came out. Second Sermon was a banger. We heard it before that one came out. Kweku the Traveler. And if your album drops and all the songs that were very great on there are the ones that you pre-released, then there was nothing new the album brought to people. I talked to a lot of people who listen to Black Sherif a lot, especially people who really love Black Sherif, and they agree that there's not a lot of versatility. And given how, especially when he released the project, this could have been the Christmas project. Imagine he had done something with, say, Fireboy or Ashake or some of these people, giving us something, some vibe music, something that drops in the club and everybody's just going crazy about it. At least one. I had only one thing that was out of tune Black Sherif, the reggae bit he did. Everything else was just classic Black Sherif. There was nothing else he gave us on the project. I feel with the hype he got, with the kind of, people were expectant. I was expecting something massive. I know people, Black Sherif fans, the song was, the album was number 5 before it released, and after it released, it dropped to 17. That's what it tells you, right? People were so eager for the project, and the songs were too short. Soja could do with one more verse, and if he had featured someone, right, I'm sure maybe he's going to work on a couple of remixes of these ones and add a few more, different people on there. But if you don't like Black Sherif as an artist, this album is not going to make you like him.
Nope.
It's just made for the Black Sherif loving people. And the comments are saying exactly that. Let's see. Blacko. Ikea said, Nanekia said, I'll give him 7/5. Presla is
Okay.
saying, haven't listened to the Black Sherif album, but he can do no wrong in my eyes. It's a 10 over 10 for me, and I completely agree. If you really love him, there's nothing this one would.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
mean,
I mean,
No, but the album isn't going to change your mind, Presla. If you love Black Sherif, I completely agree
that
with
was
you.
mad. That was mad funny, man.
But listen to Nanekia is also saying, I love his
Delivery?
writing ability. I think the only thing is delivery. He sounded the same through the album, and it's true. It was the exact same sound.
but you guys think it's delivery? Because I'm thinking maybe if he got someone else to feature, it would be
That's
different.
the thing. He could
Because his
have
delivery is
really-
always on point. Like his timing.
No, but I think yes, the delivery could be different because the delivery in Soja is very different from the delivery in Second Sermon, the remix. Even the second sermon, the original and the remix, there was a difference because he gets someone on, he has to jive with the person's vibe. And
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
it
Maybe
makes
when he
you
gets
go,
a feature, like he gets someone on the song, yeah, he's gonna be Black Sherif, but there'll be a little change because of the person, just to
That's
vibe with the person.
Presla is saying, I agree. If the music needs to grow on you, you can easily grow out of it too. It doesn't make it a classic in my opinion, but Blacko, 10 over 10. Presla is not changing her position, guys. Someone was asking if Kwesi was caught in the mannequin challenge. Yes, he was caught in the mannequin challenge for a minute.
Yeah, I just froze.
Yeah. Mina is saying, I agree with Kwesi on this one. Mina is agreeing with your analysis of the album. And exactly, Kwesi, separate the artist or artist brand from his family. Yes, definitely. When we're criticizing music, when we're analyzing music, let's keep it to the craft. Let's keep it to the artist. I don't even want you to attack his personality or anything. Like a song might
Exactly.
you may not. It's just a song. Just criticize the craft. Exactly my sentiment, Kwijo. Nanekia, yes, I listened to the track from album from song 1 to song 5, and I didn't know it had ended. Like it sounds so similar. It sounds like the same thing. That chain is giving it 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Rashid said he would grow into other stuff. It's his first. At the same time, sometimes you need to stay true to your style. Sade, for instance, is true to her style and is still legendary. I completely agree. Sometimes you stay true to your style, and it's not about not changing your style. It's about adding different things for different audience, right? Like something for someone who likes, say, an Afrobeat vibe for the club, you wouldn't get that. For someone who liked something, something hard, something.
I don't know how you guys how you rated him before this album. It's like you guys really rated him so high, and then he's
because of
the
hype.
Because of the hype.
I think we all got into the hype.
You guys have to listen.
We didn't
look at this one,
right?
not the hype.
No.
So,
we didn't take a step back to look at his skill, like composing, delivery, and like the album, right? He could have rearranged the tracks better.
Couple of things.
Maybe track 5 could have been one. Like people, like
have you guys
details,
listened to Blacko
details,
aside the
right?
popular tracks?
We've listened to a few again.
Aside the popular ones,
but this is the thing though. We don't want to listen to Blacko before first sermon. We're not trying to hear that, right? The artist is growing. He's no longer that street boy from Konongo, right? He's gotten to this level where we have expectations. Honestly, after second sermon, the remix, and after what Kweku the Traveler did globally, I felt he is no longer. I'm not expecting. Paradise was a good song, great song, but it's the story behind the as a song that tells a story on point. But again, you're a little bigger than the street boy Black Sherif, and I don't mind you doing that on your project, right? But there should be something on there for people who don't know you, who haven't heard of you, who are trying to give you a chance. Song said, I enjoyed a few of the songs if you know the story behind the lyrics. Absolutely, he's a good storyteller, but it's a 6 over 10 for song.
I agree with Tao. 6 out of 10 for me.
Kwame is saying delivery on point. Ade Uber Eats. He's asking if you were expecting him to be
Kwame.
Uber Eats. I don't know why. But Kwame, I haven't listened to the album, but I've read it. It's topping the charts. So based on that, I'd say 8/10. Yes. Normally when there's a new album release, everybody is listening. And so yeah, definitely in terms of the plays and all that, it definitely gets up on the charts. And I don't know about you guys, but people were thinking that given the hype and all that Kweku the Traveler did, people were hoping that we could get a Grammy bound artist. I think he will. I mean, Rocky Dawini and other artists think he would win it. I think he can win it eventually, but this might not be the album for me. But we've seen what wins the Grammy. Sometimes it's not the ones that everybody is excited about. The Academy sits there and like, that's good work. So all the best with this. If this wins the Grammy, I'll be happy for him. But personally, I also think it's a 6/10 for me. Mark Jordan, first time tuning into the Casa podcast. Kudos to the team. Thank you so much for joining us, Mark Jordan. It's amazing having you on here. One of these days, we need to get a few more conversations and try to get you in so many times. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. AY, the hype is mad. Take it from me. From his collabo with Burna and Darko, how many Ghanaian new artists have collabos with Burna? Absolutely. And especially with him getting signed to a label with the kind of push, the kind of resources behind him. For personally, I'm going to go around the room and take the over 10s, and I would probably end on that note. If on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you score the album?
8/10 for me.
8/10 for you, Kwesi? On a scale of 1 to 10, a scale 6/10. And so, I have a friend, Bernard. Bernard is a big Blacko fan. He said he rates the album a 9/10 because he loves Blacko to death. But if he wasn't a Blacko fan, he would have given it a 6/10. I give it a 7/10. I think it's my own bias. This is my own personal incredulity here. I put him on a very high pedestal, and I feel he didn't deliver to that level. That's how I feel personally. I think I probably was expecting a little too much from him, but it's a good start. As a first album, as a first project, I think it's going to do massive numbers, and I think there's a lot of room to grow for him as an artist.
Yes, you guys should give him chance. There's a lot of room.
I think that,
this is his first album.
I mean, we are giving him a chance, though. And that's why we're saying that we rated him high, right? And I think he will do it because look at Burna. You guys remember Burna's track with Shatawale, Hosanna or something? Mm-hmm. Look at him then. Look at him now.
Yep.
See the difference? It's like day and night, right? I think Blacko, he's young. He'll get it. If he doesn't get lazy and the fame doesn't get to his head and all that, I think he'll make it. He's good.
He will make it. Guys, this has been the Casa podcast. Today we talked about respect. We had a conversation around redefining respect as it looks like now. We took a journey through our different cultural experiences and our backgrounds and how it shaped what we understood by respect. We talked about respect as we see it today and how we can be agents of the new standards of respect. How can we be agents of redefining respect? That's been our show. We ended with a little discussion of Black Sherif's album. If your boy is giving it an 8/10, Kwesi is giving it a 6/10. I am in the middle, right? Smack in the middle. 7/10. So I think on average, Blacko scores 70%, which is not bad, but it's been us here at the Tribe having conversations around social issues as usual. We really appreciate you tuning in, and Mark Jordan also brought his 7/10. I think there's a consensus. I think even in the comment section, the consensus is roughly a 7 or 8/10 album, which is great. Only Priscilla, Black Sherif through and through. Blacko is young and thriving. He's getting the 100. We agree he's definitely getting there. But this has been us here at the Casa podcast. And we thank you so much for joining us. We thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate the love and the support you show to the podcast and to those of us on here. And once again, from the Tribe, it's...
Bye.